I can cure cancer with a hug, says the 8-year-old girl with a conviction that disarms Dr. Elena Vasquez. His eyes shine with a childish certainty that brutally contrasts with the reality of the hospital room where his mother lies connected to multiple machines, fighting against pancreatic cancer in phase 4. Dr. Elena takes off her lenses and cleanses them slowly, buying time while processing the words of little Sophia. 20-5 years of medicine have prepared for many things, but not for this. Not for a girl who speaks of miracles while the numbers in the monitors confirm the inevitable. Sophia, honey, Elena says with the voice that has perfected for these situations, your mother is very sick. Cancer has spread throughout her body. Medications can no longer stop it. Sophia denies her head, her pigtails swinging. Jesus told me that I can cure her. I just need to hug her and pray. He promised me in my dreams. Maria, Sophia's mother, opens her eyes with difficulty. His face is pale and emaciated, but still retains that serene beauty that characterizes strong women who have fought their entire lives. Mika whispers, the doctor knows what she says. You don't bother. I'm not bothering, Mommy. Sophia approaches the bed and takes her mother's fragile hand. Dr. Elena, why don't you think? Elena feels something familiar and painful moving in her chest. 5 years ago, his own son Diego had said similar things during his last days. Mom, Los Angeles are going to come for me, but then I'm going to help you from heaven. Remembering those words still causes physical pain. Because medicine doesn't work that way, Sophia, Elena replies, maintaining her professional tone. The hugs are beautiful, but they do not cure cancer. We have treatments, medications, procedures. But you already said that the medications did not work, Sophia interrupts with an overwhelming logic. So why can't we try my way? Elena looks at Maria, looking for support. The woman observes her with pleading eyes. Doctor, if my girl needs to do this to accept what is coming, would it hurt her? He would not hurt him, Elena admits, but I don't want false hopes to be believed. Duel is a difficult process, and fantasies can complicate it. Fantasies? Sophia frowns. Jesus is not a fantasy. My grandmother taught me to talk to him every night. She said that when we needed a miracle, we just had to ask for it with true faith. Elena closes her eyes briefly. Know that faith. He had it once. He prayed every night during the 6 months that Diego fought against leukemia. He prayed until his voice broke, until his knees bleed from so much kneeling, until his heart became an empty desert when Diego died at age 6. Faith is important for many families, says Elena carefully, but cannot replace medical treatment. You don't believe anything, right? Sophia asks with a disturbing perception for her age. That's why it's so sad. Words hit Elena like a punch. I'm not sad, Sophia. I'm realistic. My mom says that sad people sometimes forget how to really smile. You have sad eyes, like my uncle Roberto after my Aunt Carmen died. Maria weakly squeezes her daughter's hand. Sophia, don't say those things to the doctor. But it's true, Mommy. The doctor needs to remember that God also takes care of doctors. Elena feels that something is stirred inside, something she had buried years ago. Sophia, I need to review your mother. Can you wait for me outside with your aunt? Then I can hug her to cure her. Then we will talk. Sophia nods and leaves the room, but stops at the door. Dr. Elena, did you have a child who went to heaven? Elena is paralyzed. Why questions that? Because when he talks about my mom, his voice sounds like my mom's when she talks about my little brother who never was born. It hurts, right? Elena cannot answer. The girl is waiting for a moment and then comes out silently, leaving Elena alone with Maria and the weight of memories she had tried to bury. Doctor, says Maria weakly, my daughter has a special gift. Since childhood she has known things she shouldn't know. When my husband had the accident in construction, she told me 3 days before he was going to hurt her back. When my mother-in-law was sick, Sophia insisted that we were going to receive sad news on Tuesday. My mother-in-law died on Tuesday. Elena reviews Maria's vital signs. The blood pressure is going down, the pulse is irregular. Blood analysis shows that tumor markers have increased dramatically in the last 48 hours. According to all medical indicators, Maria has days, maybe hours. Maria, I need to be honest with you. Your condition is deteriorating quickly. We should consider comfort measures, ensure that you are comfortable. Maria closes her eyes. How long? It's hard to say with certainty. Days, maybe a week if we are lucky. And there is nothing but we can do. Elena reviews the file again, even if you know each memory page. We have exhausted all treatment options. Chemotherapy did not work, radiation was not effective. The tumor is too aggressive and has metastatized too much. So why not let my daughter make her hug? Elena looks at Maria with surprise. Because I don't want you to suffer anymore when it doesn't work. Doctor, do you have children? The question falls like a stone in still water. I had a child. What happened to you? Elena swallows saliva. Leukemia. I was 6 years old. Maria nods slowly. And you prayed for him? Yeah. And he got angry with God when he didn't heal? Elena does not respond immediately. Finally, whisper, yes. Doctor, I'm angry too. I'm angry because I'm going to leave my girl alone. I'm angry because I'm not going to see her grow, marry, have children. But I'm not angry with God. I'm angry with cancer. There is a difference. I don't see the difference, says Elena honestly. The difference is that anger with cancer gives me strength to fight every day I have left. Angry with God would only make me feel more alone. Elena sits in the chair next to the bed. How do you keep your faith when you know you are dying? Because my faith does not depend on me healing. My faith is that God will take care of Sophia when I am not here. My faith is that this suffering has a purpose, even if I do not understand. My faith is that love is stronger than death. Elena feels tears accumulating in her eyes. I lost my faith when Diego died. I prayed every night. I promised God everything I had if I saved my son. When Diego died, I felt that God had broken his part of the deal. And now what do you feel? Nothing. Empty. As if there was a hole where my soul used to be. Maria extends her trembling hand to Elena. Doctor, can I tell him something? Elena takes the fragile hand. Tell me, maybe God did not break the deal. Maybe the treatment was different from what you thought. I don't understand. Maybe Diego didn't need to be cured because it was already perfect. Maybe you needed to learn something that could only learn through that pain. Maybe your son is fulfilling its purpose in a way that you can't see yet. Elena denies her head. That sounds like the things that people say to make suffering feel better. Not to make him feel better. To make it sense. There is a difference. At that time, Sophia returns to the room with a determination that challenges her small size. Can I hug my mom? Elena looks at the girl, then Maria, after back to the girl. Sophia, what exactly do you think it's going to happen when you hug her? Jesus is going to put his hands on top of mine, and cancer is going to go. But I have to do it soon because he told me I only have until tomorrow. Elena feels a chill. According to her calculations, Maria will probably not survive until tomorrow night. Jesus told you specifically? Yes. He told me that mommy needs the hug before the sun gets tomorrow, or it will be too late. Elena verifies the clock. It's 3 in the afternoon. At this time of the year, the sun puts around 7 o'clock. Maria has less than 28 hours according to the medical forecast, and the girl is talking about a similar time limit. Dr. Elena, says Sophia softly, did you want Jesus to save your child? Yeah. And he became very sad when he didn't? Yeah. But what if he saved him? What if only saved him in a different way? Elena feels that something breaks inside her chest. What do you mean? My grandmother told me that when people go to heaven, they don't leave because God does not want them here. They leave because God has a special job for them up there. What if your child is working for God now? Elena cannot speak. The tears he has been containing for 5 years finally begin to fall. Sophia approaches her and takes her hand. Dr. Elena, what if Jesus put her here, taking care of my mom, because her child asked her to help her remember how to believe again? Elena Saloza silently. The girl's logic is impossible, irrational, completely not scientific. And yet, something inside that had been dead for 5 years begins to move weakly. Are you going to let me hug my mom? Sophia questioned gently. Elena looks at Maria, who is watching the scene with tears in her own eyes. Maria, what do you want to do? I want my daughter to have peace. If she needs to do this to have peace, then I want him to do it. Elena dries tears and makes a decision that challenges all her medical training. It's fine. But I want you to understand that this goes against everything they taught me as a doctor. I have no hope that it works. You don't need to have hope, says Sophia smiling. I have enough hope for both. Elena leaves the room to inform nurses who will allow a private time for the family. The chief nurse, Patricia, looks at her with surprise. Does Doctor, are sure? Family members sometimes cling to these rituals and then blame medical staff when they don't work. I am documenting that it is at the specific request of the family, says Elena. And Patricia, do not interrupt for an hour, no matter what happens. An entire hour. An entire hour. Elena returns to the room where Sophia is kneeling next to her mother's bed, whispering prayers that Elena can barely hear. Are you ready? He asks. Almost. First I have to ask Jesus to bless his hands too, Dr. Elena. My hands? Why? Because you are going to be the one who will tell everyone what happened. Your hands are going to write the report. Jesus wants your hands to be blessed too. Elena approaches Leaflet. Sophia takes her hands and puts them on Maria's hands. Jesus, says Sophia with a seriousness that does not belong to an 8-year-old girl, thank you for listening to my prayers. Thank you for loving my mom as much as I love her. Thank you for loving Dr. Elena even when she is angry with you. Please, put your hands on our hands. Please, make cancer go away so that my mom can stay with me a little more. But if you can't do that, please help me, please help me. In the name of Jesus, Amen. Amen, Sura Maria. Elena says nothing, but does not withdraw her hands. Sophia embraces her mother gently, taking care not to hurt the tubes and cables. Maria embraces her daughter with how little strength she has left. Elena keeps her hands on them, feeling ridiculous but unable to get away. The minutes pass. The monitors continue to emit their constant beeps. Nothing changes visibly. After 15 minutes, Sophia separates from her mother. That's, he says simply. Is there what? Ask Elena. He is already cured. Jesus put his hands here, he says pointing his own chest, and then put them here, says his mother's chest. Now we have to wait. Wait what? To the cancer leave. Jesus said that he is going to go little by little, like when the fever disappears. Elena reviews the monitors. Maria's vital signs are stable, but that does not necessarily mean anything. Sophia, do you feel different? I feel tired. Jesus said he was going to feel tired because he used my energy to cure mommy. And you, Maria? Do you feel different? Maria considers the question carefully. I feel calm. Quieter than I felt in months. But physically, I don't know. It's too soon to say. Elena documents the exact time, 4:23 p.m. Order blood analysis for the next day and a new tomography for 3 days, although it is sure that they will only confirm the inevitable. That night, Elena is laid at the hospital, verifying Maria every few hours. The vital signs remain stable, which is surprising given the deterioration of that morning. Sophia sleeps in a chair next to the bed, occasionally muttering prayers in her dreams. At 3 a.m., Elena finds Maria awake, looking out the window. How do you feel? Ask Elena. Different, says Maria honestly. I can't explain how, but different. The pain is there, but it is as if it were further. Pain can fluctuate. It doesn't necessarily mean. Dr. Elena, Maria interrupts gently, I'm not asking for hope. I'm just telling what I feel. Elena reviews the vital signs again. They are more stable than they have been in days. Order urgent blood analysis. The results arrive 2 hours later. Elena reads them 3 times, without believing what she sees. Tumor markers have dropped 15%. It is a significant, but not impossible fluctuation. Tumors sometimes have variations in their activity. The next day, Elena returns early. Sophia is awake, helping her mother to eat breakfast. Good morning, Dr. Elena, says Sophia happily. Did you see mommy's analysis? Elena nods. Yes, 6. They show a small improvement, but, a small improvement. Maria joins in the bed with more energy than she has shown in weeks. The tumor markers went down, but it is too early to know if it is significant. It could be just a temporary fluctuation, or it could be that Jesus is removing cancer little by little, as Sophia said, says Maria hopefully. Elena does not want to feed false hopes, but she has to admit that the change is unusual. We are going to repeat the analysis in 2 days and make tomography as we plan. During the next 2 days, Elena observes Maria with scientific fascination and a growing personal discomfort. The patient is more alert, eating better, walking down the hall without help. Objectively, it is showing improvements that do not agree with the prognosis. Sophia remains confident but calm. When other patients or families ask about his mother, he simply says, Jesus is healing her. He takes time, but he always fulfills his promises. The day of tomography, Elena is more nervous than Maria. He has seen temporary improvements before, followed by rapid impairments that are even more devastating for previous hope. The images take 3 hours to process. Elena personally reviews them with the radiologist, Dr. Hernandez, who has worked at the hospital for 20 years. Elena, you need to see this, says Dr. Hernandez, pointing out the images on the screen. Elena approaches. What he sees leaves her speechless. Are you sure these are the correct images? Ask Elena. Triple verified. Patient Maria Gonzalez, file number 473-8291. These are your images today. Elena compares the new images with those of a week ago. The difference is impossible. Tumors that had invaded the pancreas, liver, and lungs have decreased significantly. Some of the smallest tumors seem completely disappeared. Dr. Hernandez, in his 20 years of experience, have you seen anything like that? Never. Not with such an advanced cancer. Some types of cancer respond dramatically to treatment, but that of pancreas in phase 4. Elena, this does not happen. Elena asks for a second opinion of the chief oncologist, Dr. Morales. He reviews the images and medical history for an hour before calling Elena to his office. Elena, what experimental treatment are using Mrs. Gonzalez? None. We suspended all chemotherapy 2 weeks ago when we determined that it was not working. Radiation? No, we also suspend it. Any alternative medicine? Any protocol that is not documented? Elena hesitates. Doctor, the family asked for a religious moment 3 days ago. A prayer. Dr. Morales looks at her over his glasses. A prayer? The 8-year-old daughter believes that she can cure her mother with a hug and prayers. The family asked permission to do it, and I agreed. Elena, you know that I don't believe in those things. Me neither. But these images show a tumor regression that is medically inexplicable. I know. Dr. Morales falls in his chair. What are you up to? I don't know. What do you recommend? Repeat all studies. Ensure that there are no errors. If the results are confirmed, documenting everything meticulously. And Elena, yeah, prepare for many questions that you will not be able to answer. Elena leaves the office with the mind in turmoil. All his scientific training tells him that there must be a logical explanation. Medical miracles do not exist. Phase 4 pancreas tumors do not decorate spontaneously. 8-year-old children's hugs do not heal cancer. But the images are unequivocal. Elena finds Maria sitting in the hospital garden, seeing Sophia play with other patient children. Maria looks healthier than she has been in months. Maria, we need to talk about your results. Maria turns up with immediate anxiety. Bad news? Elena sits with her. No. Good news. News I don't understand, but good news. What does it mean? Tumors have decreased significantly. Some have disappeared completely. Maria takes her hands in her mouth. It's true, according to all studies, yes. But Maria, I have to be honest with you. This should not be happening. Montalai, there is no explanation. But am I better? According to all tests, yes. Maria begins to cry. Sophia was right. Jesus did cure me. Elena observes Sophia playing. The girl looks at her and smiles at her, as if she had been waiting for this moment. Dr. Elena, Sophia shouts running towards them, did I tell mommy that Jesus cured her? I told him that tumors are smaller, says Elena carefully. And will it be fine? Elena looks at Maria, after return to Sophia. I don't know, Sophia. We need to do more tests, observe for a longer time. But it's better, right? Yes, it's better. Sophia hugs Elena strongly. Thank you for believing enough to let me try. Sophia, I didn't believe. I just didn't want to take hope. It's the same, says Sophia wisely. Sometimes believing is just not getting hope. Elena feels something moving in her chest again, something that had been asleep for 5 years. That night, Elena stays in her office until too late, writing the report of the case. How do you document a miracle? How do you explain in medical terms what has no medical explanation? Finally, he writes, spontaneous tumor regression of unknown etiology. Long-term monitoring is required to determine durability of the response. It is technically correct, but completely inappropriate to describe what you have really witnessed. The next day, Elena visits the hospital chapel for the first time in 5 years. Father Miguel is there, as always, available for those who need it. Dr. Vasquez, says Father Miguel with surprise. I haven't seen her here for a long time. Father Miguel, do you believe in medical miracles? The priest smiles. I believe in miracles, point. Some turn out to be doctors. I have a patient, a situation that I can't explain medically. Mrs. Gonzalez and her daughter Sophia. Elena looks at him surprised. How did I know? Sophia came to tell me that she was going to pray for her mother. He asked me to also pray. A very special girl. Father, what do I do with something I can't explain? What does any scientist do with something that cannot explain? Study more, look for more information, try to find the answer. Exactly. But in the meantime, what do you do with the results you already have? Elena considers the question. I guess, accept what you can see, even if you can't explain it. Doctor, can I ask you a personal question? Elena nods. His loss of faith began because God did not heal his son, or because you could not cure him. The question hits her like lightning. I don't understand the difference. Sometimes we blame God for our own limitations. As a doctor, you are accustomed to cure, to save lives. When you can't do it, it is natural to look for who to blame. But I prayed. I asked God to save Diego. What if he did it? What wasn't it for the way you expected? Elena thinks of Sophia's words about her son working for God in heaven. Father, do you think children who die have a special purpose? I think we all have a special purpose, doctor. Some fulfill it in this life, others in the next. But love never dies. Love transcends death. Elena feels tears forming in her eyes. I have not been able to talk about Diego in 5 years without feeling anger. And now, Elena thinks of Sophia, in her impossible wisdom, in her unwavering faith. Now I wonder if Diego is trying to tell me something through other children. How Sophia? Yes, like Sophia. Father Miguel smiles. Doctor, would you be willing to consider that perhaps you did not lose your faith? Maybe just let her rest for a while healed. Elena leaves the chapel feeling something I had not felt in years, esperanza. Not the blind hope he had before losing Diego, but something more mature, stronger. A hope that can coexist with pain, which can accept the mystery without demanding explanations. During the following weeks, Elena monitors Maria carefully. Blood analysis continues to show improvements. Tumor markers continue to go down. Maria wins weight, recovers energy, is again the mother that Sophia needs. Medically, it is inexplicable. Humanly, it is beautiful. A month after the miraculous hug, Elena enters Maria for the final high. Sophia is helping her mother pack her few belongings. List to go home. Ask Elena. More than ready, says Maria, a radiant of health. Dr. Elena, how can we thank you? Don't thank me. I just documented what happened. It wasn't I who did the miracle, but you let us try, says Sophia. You believed enough not to say no. Elena kneel at the level of Sophia. Sophia, can I ask you something? Clear. How did you know that I was going to work? Because Jesus promised me. But also because you needed to see that he still does miracles. Did I need to see it? Yes. So that I could help other children like me, who know things that adults have forgotten. Elena feels sudden clarity. Sophia, my son Diego, is he okay? Sophia smiles with that impossible wisdom. He is very good. And he is very proud of his mommy for remembering how to believe again. Elena hugs Sophia, tears flowing freely for the first time in 5 years. But these are not tears of pain. They are tears of gratitude, of relief, of a faith that has been born again. 6 months later, Elena opens a clinic specialized in integrative medicine, where science and faith work together to heal not only bodies, but also hearts. The clinic is called San Diego Medical Center, in honor of its son. On the wall of his office, he has a drawing that Sophia made him, a doctor with a white coat hugging a small child, while an angel observes them from above. Below, in the irregular letter of an 8-year-old girl, he says, "For Dr. Elena, who learned that miracles are real when we let Jesus use our hands." Maria visits the clinic every 3 months for her checkups. Each exam confirms what doctors consider impossible: it is completely free of cancer. There is no trace of the disease that once threatened to take his life in a matter of days. Sophia accompanies her to each visit, no longer as a girl desperate to save her mother, but as a quiet presence that seems to understand secrets that adults have forgotten. During one of these visits, Elena shares with Maria something she has been contemplating for months. "Maria, I have been thinking about writing about what happened with you. For medical magazines, for other doctors. What are they going to say? Probably I am crazy. That miracles do not exist. There must be a scientific explanation that I did not find." And that bothers her. Elena smiles. "Not anymore. Some of my colleagues have stopped referring to patients. Others come specifically because they have heard that I am willing to consider unconventional possibilities." Like what? Last week a family came with a 10-year-old boy who insists that he can help other children with autism only talking to them. His parents are desperate because doctors tell them they are inventing things. And what do you think? I think I'm going to meet the child and listen to what he has to say. I think that after what I saw with you and Sophia, it would be arrogant on me to discard anything without investigating first. Sophia, who has been reading quietly in the corner, looks up. "Dr. Elena, is the child called Carlos?" Elena is surprised. "Yes, how did you know? He visited me in my dreams last week. He told me that he would need help for adults to believe him. Jesus told me to tell you that you will understand." Elena is no longer surprised at these moments of impossible knowledge of Sophia. Something else should know. Yes. Carlos can really help other children. But he is also scared because nobody believes him. He needs someone like you to tell him that it is fine to be different. 2 days later, Elena meets Carlos and his family. The child is shy but articulated, and describes surprising precision how perceives the emotional needs of other children with autism. "Dr. Elena," says Carlos, "I know that it sounds weird, but when I talk to children like my cousin Roberto, I can feel what they feel. And sometimes, when I speak to them in a special way, they begin to talk too." Special way, as if he were his friend who lives in his head. As if he understood his secret language. Elena spends the following weeks watching Carlos interact with several autistic children. The results are extraordinary. Children who had not spoken in years begin to communicate. Others whose self-mind were calm in the presence of Carlos. "How do you do it?" Elena asks after a particularly successful session. "It's not me," says Carlos simply. "I just let God use my voice to speak the language they understand." Elena documents everything meticulously. Record sessions, consult with autism specialists, seek scientific explanations. Find some interesting theories about extraordinary empathy and nonverbal communication, but nothing that completely explains what you are observing. And gradually, he realizes that he is fine not having all the answers. Your medical practice is transformed. It continues to use all the resources of modern medicine, but it is also open to possibilities that would have previously discarded automatically. Treat patients with integrative approaches who combine evidence-based medicine with complementary therapies, including prayer when patients request it. His colleagues are divided. Some consider her a doctor who has lost her scientific objectivity. Others seek it discreetly when they face cases that conventional medicine cannot resolve. Elena finds peace in both reactions. understands skepticism because she lived it. But he also understands that medicine, in its essence, is about healing, and sometimes healing comes from places that science cannot yet measure. A year after Maria's miracle, Elena receives a call that changes everything again. Dr. Vasquez, Dr. speaks of the Los Angeles Children's Hospital. We have an unusual situation. A 6-year-old girl with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Parents have heard about you and specifically have asked to be your oncologist. Elena feels that her heart stops. Acute lymphoblastic leukemia. The same cancer that killed Diego. Dr. Chen, I no longer practice pediatric oncology. My specialty is now integrative medicine. I know. But the girl, she insists that you are the doctor that God sent to help her. Her parents are desperate, doctor. The girl does not respond well to the standard protocol. Elena closes her eyes. What is the name of the girl? Isabella. Isabella Morales. That night, Elena leads 3 hours to Los Angeles, fighting with memoirs she had learned to drive but had never completely disappeared. On the way, calls Sophia. Sophia, I need to ask you something. About the girl Isabella? Elena is no longer surprised by these impossible responses. Yeah, Jesus told me that you were going to help her. But Dr. Elena, this time is different. Different how? Isabella is not going to be cured as my mom. She is going to heaven like her child Diego. But she needs you to teach her not a bad thing. Elena stops in the burning of the road, tears starting to flow. Sophia, I don't know if I can do that. Yes, because now you know that going to heaven does not mean that Jesus does not love them. Sometimes it means that he loves them so much that he needs them for special jobs. Like Diego? Yes, like Diego. Dr. Elena, Isabella is scared. She knows that she is going to die, but adults keep telling her that she is going to heal. She needs someone to tell her the truth with love. Elena arrives at the hospital at midnight. Isabella is awake, as if she had been waiting for her. Are you Dr. Elena? Asks the girl with a weak but clear voice. Yes, it's me. Jesus told me that you were coming. He told me that you understand about going to heaven when you are a child. Elena sits next to the bed, feeling the weight of responsibility and privilege of this moment. Isabella, what did Jesus tell you exactly? He told me that my body is very sick and that the medications are not going to cure it. But he told me that it is fine because he has a special job for me in heaven. Only I am scared to leave my mom and my daddy. Elena takes Isabella's little hand. Do you know what? I had a child who went to heaven when I was little, like you. Is it really called Diego? Elena runs out of breathing. How did you know that? He visited me in my dreams. He told me that his mom is a very good doctor, but that for a long time he was sad because he thought he had left forever. But he didn't leave forever, right? Elena cries silently. No, honey. He didn't go forever. Diego told me that he will show me the special work we are going to do together. He told me that we are going to help other children who are scared to die. Isabella, do your parents know what you know? No. They keep saying that I'm going to heal. But I know it's not true, and that's fine. Can you tell you okay? Elena spends the next week working with Isabella and her family. It is the most difficult and most important work he has done in his career. It helps Isabella's parents understand that accepting the death of her daughter does not mean surrendering, but loving her enough to let her go with peace. Isabella dies 3 weeks later, surrounded by love and without fear. His last words are, Dr. Elena, tell Sophia that Diego says hello. Isabella's funeral is different from any funeral that Elena has witnessed. There is no bitter despair, but a deep sadness mixed with a strange peace. Isabella's parents talk about the privilege of being chosen to take care of an angel for 6 years. Sophia attends the funeral with Maria. After the ceremony, he approaches Elena. Isabella is already with Diego? Sophia asks. Yes, I think so. Well. Now they can help more children together. Elena hugs Sophia. Thank you for preparing for this. Diego asked me to do it. He says you are already ready to help families like Isabella's. And so, Elena finds her new purpose. He specializes in pediatric palliative care, helping children such as Isabella and families such as his to navigate the difficult transition between life and death with dignity, love and faith. His approach is unique. He combines avant-garde palliative medicine with spiritual support, helping families find meaning and peace even amid deeper pain. 5 years after Maria's miracle, Elena receives a national recognition for her work in pediatric palliative medicine. In his acceptance speech, he tells the story of Sophia and the hug that changed his life. "I learned that miracles come in many ways," Elena says before an audience of hundreds of doctors. Sometimes the miracle is physical healing, as in the case of Mary. Sometimes the miracle is peace in the midst of suffering, as in the case of Isabella. And sometimes the miracle is that a doctor hardened by the loss learns to believe again in the power of love. After the event, Elena returns to her clinic in her hometown. Sophia, now 13, is waiting for her in her office. "How was the event?" Sophia asks. "Well, I talked about you and your mother. What did the other doctors say?" "Some keep thinking that I'm crazy. Others want to learn more." Sophia smiles. "Do you know what Jesus told me last night?" "What told you?" "He told me that when it's big, I'm going to be a doctor like you. But I'm going to specialize in children who have special gifts, such as Carlos and me." Elena smiles. "And what do you think of that?" "I think it will be perfect. Because by then, there will be many doctors like you, who understand that medicine and faith can work together." Elena looks out the window of her office towards the garden where she once sat down with Maria, without knowing that her life was about to change forever. In the garden there is now a small statue of San Diego, the patron saint of his clinic, surrounded by flowers that patients and their families plant as a symbol of hope. "Sophia," says Elena, "do you ever regret having said those words that day? Can I cure cancer with a hug?" Sophia considers the question seriously. "No. Because it wasn't just about healing my mom. It was about teaching you that miracles never cease to exist. I just needed to remember how to see them. And now what? Now we continue to help. We are still the hands of Jesus for other families that need miracles." Elena embraces Sophia, the girl who taught her that faith is not the absence of doubt, but the presence of love. The girl who showed her that miracles do not always cure the body, but they can always heal the soul. That night, Elena writes in her diary, "Today he turns 5 since an 8-year-old girl told me that he could cure cancer with a hug. She was right, but not in the way I thought. He did not heal only his mother's cancer. He cured my broken heart and taught me that medicine without love is only science, but medicine with love is miracle." When closing his newspaper, Elena looks at the photo in her desk, Diego smiling on her last birthday, next to a more recent photo of Sophia and Isabella hugged during one of Isabella's latest visits to the clinic. "Thank you," Elena whispered, addressing Diego, "Isabella, God, to all who helped her find her way back to faith. Thank you for teaching me I was never alone." And in the silence of his office, Elena could swear to listen to the laugh of children playing somewhere between heaven and earth, reminding him that true love never dies, only becomes more beautiful than we can imagine. The story of Elena, Maria, and Sophia becomes a legend in medical circles. Some call it the miracle of the General Hospital, others simply the Gonzalez case. But for Elena, it will always be the story of how an 8-year-old girl taught her that miracles have not disappeared from the world. They just wait for us to have enough faith to see them.